If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
Sin and Glory.
Sin and Glory.
Alliance tonight.
A rebooted alliance, dear listener. This should be interesting.
Sin and Glory is here to rock the house. For those who don't know, we are an alliance with genres such as alternative, classic rock, hard rock, grunge, goth, industrial, heavy metal, metalcore, progressive metal, and of course, punk music. Like all of the alliances, we help pick out songs for Vin and Sori to react to. This is the winner of our 90s rock, alternative, and metal poll. This song was nominated by Robert Kahn. It's a song by Body Count called There Goes the Neighborhood.
There Goes the Neighborhood by a friendly band called Body Count. Happy Valentine's Day, you beautiful people. The moment has arrived.
Well, that's technically tomorrow, but sure.
Sure. The moment has arrived. I think, so let's go. Body Count, There Goes the Neighborhood. Let's do it.
The neighborhood. Here come them fucking niggas with the fancy cars. Who gave them fucking niggas those rock guitars? Who let them in the club? Did you make them pay? Who let them on the stage? Who let them play? Don't they know rock just for whites? Don't they know the rules? Those niggas are too hardcore. This shit ain't cool. Those blacks want everything in the fucking world. That nigga played so good. He took my motherfucking girl. There goes the neighborhood.
Also true. I took the girl, man.
There goes the neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood.
Shit, man. You hear this ripping Slayer.
Was that his girl?
That's the girl that he's
The
singing.
smile with the camera?
here. We ain't going nowhere. We're moving right next door to you. Body count, motherfucker.
Talk that shit, boy.
And if those of you that don't like it can suck my motherfucking dick.
Yeah! Hopefully this video doesn't get blocked!
There goes the neighborhood.
There goes the neighborhood. Yeah, he came out like swinging.
Yeah.
He came out swinging.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and some people like, oh, you know, the metal community, like, we've always been embracing people. We've never been, I'm not really feeling this because the metal community embraces everybody. No, we don't. What are you talking about? There's entire genres of fucking Nazi shit in metal. Like, metal people are just like every people. There's racist bastards in the hip hop community. You got people saying that Eminem's not a top 10 rapper.
Why would they say that?
Clearly only because he's white. Clearly, Eminem's a top.
I mean, I think he's good.
Eminem is a top 3 lyricist.
I will say I like his more recent stuff.
He's a top 3 lyricist. As an artist or whatever, no, obviously. But lyrically, I'm talking about like lyrics.
Yeah.
If you don't have Eminem in your top 3,
what are you saying? His style is not top 10, but that his lyrics are.
His style hasn't been able to. It hasn't been able to go with the times. Like Eminem.
Yeah,
put
no,
the
he's
song
still,
in. He's still pretty much stuck in like 10, 15 years ago. Like
Yeah.
his, you know, and
Yeah.
that's fun. It doesn't, you know, some people like Jay is like evergreen. Like you just have to give Jay like the number one just because of his longevity and
I was
things
gonna
like
say,
that.
well, he's outlasted a lot of people too.
But you know, somebody recently published a top 10, and obviously I disagree. Put Eminem over Biggie, ridiculous. But my point is, the metal community is full of people just like every other community. Of course, there's racists in the metal community. And it's not even a, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. But this is.
But the thing is like, I guess they were at some punk rock show, and here I'll just post the thing for the background thing in it. It says, I just took it off the whole entire thingy. I just had the thing up there, then I got rid of it.
So
okay.
body count. Are these?
That's Ice.
Is this-
That's Ice-T's band apparently.
Okay.
Okay, so the song talks about Ice-T and the other members of the original Body Count lineup, who were all African American, had racist abuse directed at them by Caucasian metalheads at gigs that they played at. This was because heavy metal was considered a white subgenre, and some Caucasian listeners didn't take kindly to black metal performers, believing them to be stealing what they believed was their genre. Ice embodies a Caucasian metalhead who dislikes Body Count because they were African American metal performers, as he believes metal music to be white, playing on the jealousy many Caucasians possess against African Americans.
Whoa, he said
that
it.
one of them will steal his romantic partner. No fucking comment. Body Count faced a lot of racism in their formal years, yada, 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 yada. So, I mean, of course they experienced that, but the song was like a big, I don't give a fuck how.
Oh, yeah.
How you people feel.
Well, yeah, it was. He flipped
And
it
hell
on him.
yeah, I'm gonna take everything in the world, and I'm gonna take your girl from you. Hell yes, we're coming for that shit.
And the way he sings "There Goes the Neighborhood," it wasn't like it was a tragedy. It was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was trolling him.
Yeah,
Too.
Mojo, it doesn't mean that every metalhead is a racist because they ran into racism, bro. It just means that was his experience. That was their experience as a band. They experienced that. You can't, you weren't there. You can't invalidate how they feel.
I mean, we've gone to a number of metal shows together, and there was one specific show that was like, I was pretty uncomfortable at that show. I don't know if you remember which one it was, but we probably wouldn't even announce it anyway. But yeah, like when we were in there, like the way that people were looking, there's like a way that people look at you that you're like, oh, that's this or that's that. But like the racist thing that's a really different one to experience when you haven't, like, I didn't grow up in an environment where I even thought that racism was still a thing. Like I thought that some people, like that there was some weird people that didn't like black people, but not that it was still a thing. And I certainly didn't think that people were still getting killed because of it. And so it was surprising. Like the first time, you and I had been friends for a while, and we had to help somebody with moving some stuff. And so him and I were friends. I had taken the pickup truck, and we had to stop and gas up. And so we get out to gas up the van, the truck, and I'm like, murder somebody. I was like, what is that? I didn't know what was going on. So he gets out, but this is the weird thing that they always do is they just stand there making angry faces and eyes and don't say or do anything. Like just stare and make anyway. So like that was going, and then I was like, like 3 different guys got out while we were gassing up the truck, and they all were having the same weird reaction. And then I looked at Vinny; he wasn't making any necessarily any sort of reaction, so I didn't even know if he had picked up on it. So then when we left, I said something to you, and you were like, "Yeah, that's that." Blah blah blah. I was like, "What?" And then of course that was just
some recessive genes.
That was just, I mean, we were friends at the time. Now we're married, so I'm obviously more conscious of it. Like, if we go to an event and people are acting a certain way, I'm obviously more offended by it.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's both directions, too. Because don't they know rock's just for whites? Don't they know the rules? Like, I went through that at my black school. When I became a corn kid,
oh, yeah,
I had the nail polish and all black and the backpack and the shirts and shit. Or people were here listening to me, like hearing "Got the Life" in the locker room and all that. Like, that was, you're black. What's wrong with you? Blah 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 blah. And so it's not something that is exclusively something a white person would say. I'm sure that Ice-T got it just as bad from the black community as well, because it's like, you're supposed to be a rapper. What are you doing with this rock shit? I mean, there was a lot of real ignorant shit at the time. Like when I was, you know, when I'm like, why does it matter to you what kind of music I listen to? Why do you care about how I dress? Like, I'll still fuck you up. Like, you catch these hands with this nail polish, my nigga. Like, I don't give a fuck. But like, so most of the racial issues that I ran into for metal came because I was a black dude in the ghetto, but completely like 100,000% like, this is where I'm at. This is who I am. Like, you know, this is where I'm at. And, you know, people didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? And they had things to say about it. So I see the validity of what he's saying on both sides. Like, I can imagine him getting that energy on both sides. Obviously, the whole, these niggers want the whole world, blah, blah, blah. Anytime there's any sort of progress for us, like, there's always that, like, sort of boomer generation, like, oh, you know.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, that comes into my head, like, that sort of mentality that I know people have. And, like, you know, we're, you know, at some point we're going to be moving and we're going to go into a new neighborhood, and like, I'm like, we're going to be those new people in the neighborhood. I've never been like necessarily a new person in a neighborhood, because the only place that I moved to it wasn't a neighborhood over there. It was like a fast road. Like, you didn't really have a neighborhood. So like, what's that like to have a neighborhood? And like, you know, does it take time? Like, are there people that have like certain energies and racist, you know, like energies towards you? And does that kind of like go away, or do people like secretly have the side eye with you? Or like, remember how you said about those people, you guys got stuck in a ditch and they like pulled you out of the ditch but didn't say another word?
They
like,
did. They didn't speak to us our entire time that we lived a good year around those people. Never said one word to us. But then we got stuck in a ditch and, you know, Confederate flags, all types of shit. Didn't say a word, just put the stuff together, loaded the thing, got us out of the ditch. My mom tried to pay them. They wouldn't take any money. Just went straight back home. Never spoke to them again. That like, people are very complex, man. It's not as simple as, oh, they're racist, so they're bad. It's like, to me, it's like, they're racist and they're human. Like, that's just human nature. It is.
And it probably, I think I agree that it is human to have those, but I don't know. It's just, when it's your own family, and like, I know that it's obviously your own family too, but you've known of this struggle. And you've had time to like work through it and say like, oh, people over 50 are gonna have certain mindsets. You gotta kind of give.
You just gotta let it go.
Like, I feel like that you're pretty balanced with it, but at the same time, you're also like a trolling like this guy sometimes.
Oh yeah, I loved it. I loved to troll.
I mean, I feel like you enjoyed the song immensely.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it immensely because like, that was the kind of attitude. Like, I'd be in board meetings and shit. You know, like I'd be running shop or whatever, and I was like, mid-20s at the time, looked pretty young, and there was a lot of like, what is this fucking person doing here? And I knew it, and I used to love that shit, because I'm like, the minute I open my mouth, these motherfuckers they're gonna understand. Like, but so there's always that thing where like, you have to constantly prove yourself and validate why you're there, you know, and there's, you know, like, I remember the first time I got promoted, they're like, oh, that's great for the affirmative action.
That's literally what I was thinking in my head. I was like, affirmative it, and then they're here you talking, and it's like, oh. Yeah,
so there's always like, hey, what are you doing? You don't really belong here. You didn't really earn this place. You're and obviously, like, if you look at a situation like Kamala Harris, it's obvious why she was put there. So it's not like they can't like point out cultural examples where it's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So it's a complex issue. But what I love, those blacks want everything. They want the fucking world. That's a really interesting line, because like, all they're doing is playing music that our ancestors created. Like, everybody knows metal and rock is based on scales and all the rest of it that we essentially perfected. So it's like, it's our music. It's just like the whole Elvis phenomena, or to some degree, like, you know, Eminem. You know, all these white people say, oh, Eminem's better than Biggie. Like, this is our shit. And now you're saying that it's your, like, this shit is insane.
But this has been going on for quite some time.
But when I was in New York, nobody told anybody, yo, Elvis was stealing black music, blah, 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 blah. No, we were ignorant. They literally thought this is music for white people. I thought metal was music for white people. And I said, I don't give a fuck. I really like this song, so I don't care who it's for. But like,
honestly, I thought that hip hop and like rap was for black people.
Right.
But I enjoyed it, so I listened to it anyway.
Right, and then I realized that the people that are buying the most rap records are in the suburbs. It's the suburban white kids. So when I came up to Maine, I just came from New York City, came from all that shit. And I had one more year to do in school, so we did it up here. And I remember, like, you know, these kids started acting all tough. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? I'm like, you guys got trees and rivers and shit. Nobody's like patting you down when you get into school. I was like, what are you? Because he was throwing all types of gang signs, all type of shit at me. And you know, at this point, I was like 6 months away from getting admitted into the psych ward.
Oh no! Okay.
Like I was not in a good space at all.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh
so
my gosh.
I'm like, what the? You a what? And he's like, nah. I was like, and
did you fight him? Did you hit him?
My friend actually made friends with a skinhead dude. Shout out to Mike. You met him one time. Skinhead. It's really good. He's a good guy though. He honestly, he just doesn't like black people. But me and him were like best friends. So we'd sit down at lunch, and me and the skinhead would hang out or whatever. And he's like, well, those are the kids that were fucking with you. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't know. Like, he's like, they're just a bunch of wiggers. I don't know what a wigger.
Oh my god, I forgot about that word.
Yeah, he's like, he's just a bunch of wiggers. Blah blah blah. I'm like, Mike, you know that's a fucking offensive. He's like, yeah, but he's not like you. You know, they listen to all your nigger music, all type of shit.
Wait, that was an offensive word.
What?
Wiggers?
Wigger? Well, yeah, because you're saying white nigger, basically. I mean, obviously.
Oh, I never realized that.
That's what a
Honest
wigger
to God,
is.
I really, any person that they ever said was a wigger, they always said it was because of the jeans.
Nah,
They always wore the falling off, like...
Yeah, because they were trying to be like street
I didn't know
dudes.
that. Oh my God, I said
were
that a
trying to
couple
be-
times.
They're
Because
trying
I
to be-
didn't know that was... Yeah, that's white nigger. Oh, no.
Yeah, so but it was weird. Like the dude was like a legit skinhead. He had the white shoelaces, all types of shit. But me and him were like thick as thieves. Like he wouldn't let anything.
I feel like that shows what's actually going on with like racism, because a lot of times people will say that, like when they get they're like, well, one-on-one, you know what I mean? Like that just means that you got to know people and you recognize that they were actually human beings like you. Like it's not like, but people want to make all these differentiations between people and be like, oh, they're that. We're all human beings. Like we've always been human beings. And then we created this thing where we were like, well, we'll separate you over there from your color and you over there for your language. And we're going to separate everybody like that. But it wasn't like that from the beginning. We were all one people.
I remember we got jammed up. With the time the dude pulled a weapon on me, and that we were in Section 5 in Co-op City. We were by ourselves, and then a couple people from our crew were like on this side, you know, having meetings with girls. So me and Reef came to pick up, and dudes like caught us dudes caught us. I was on the bench. I was like dead to rights. I'm sitting there like, fuck, man. I can't.
You're on the
believe
train
this.
or you're in the club?
I was at the bench in Section 5, and these
That's
dudes,
at the train station, right?
No. Section 5 is their area in Co-op City.
So you're on a bench like on the side of the road?
No, I'm on a bench in their hood, in their area, and because my friends were going to see a girl, and we were basically like, you can't go by yourself.
Oh my God.
So I'm sitting on the bench and I'm like, fuck, man. And we had nothing. I had nothing on me. Nothing. I had my, whatever.
So you have your hands in your pockets.
No, I didn't have my hands in the pockets at that point because I had nothing to get. So
Well.
I was, so anyway, he's like, see, this is so he's got this weapon on. Sharif is sitting there and he's like, this is the problem. I'm like, okay, here we go. You got black people trying to be white.
Wait,
and
what
you
was
got
this guy?
White
What was this
people
guy?
trying to be. It was a guy. He was a Section 5 dude.
I don't know what that means. Is he white? Is he black?
No,
is he
he's
Asian?
no, he
What
was
is
a
he?
street dude. He was in Co-op City.
So he's a black guy.
The Bronx, yeah.
Okay.
And so they're talking all this shit, and of course I'm in my nail polish, my corn shirt. Sharif is in his corn shirt, and he's like, "This is the problem." He's like, "You got black people trying to be white, and now you got white people trying to be black." That Eminem
Or
nigga.
they
he
just
said.
like corn.
I was like, "You ignorant motherfucker!" I was like, "If I survive this fucking encounter, bro,
Oh my
I swear
gosh.
to God."
So what happened?
Obviously, I survived the encounter.
Yeah, no, I know, but what made him stop talking and walk away?
Reef just said, "Hey, do what you're gonna do, bro. We ain't running. We right here." Of course, there's no way for us to go. If we would have known they were coming, we absolutely would have ran. They crept up on us.
How many was there?
It was about 3 or 4. But one of them had a
I wonder why they decided to just walk away.
pulled the weapon up. Well, we were looking at dead. I didn't feel a thing. I was just sitting there looking at dude. I was going through I was like, yo, I got nothing. But my point is, like, the race shit, like, it's both ways. It's not just white people saying, "Oh, metal is
Oh,
ours."
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we were saying that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I'm about to listen to white people music, blah blah blah. You know, like it wasn't until really Revo, when he went into the history, when he went all the way back to the 50s, and you saw the obvious progression and the and how things were going. And then the other thing about Revo is, like, you hear about the politics of the record label and, like, why certain bands were promoted and others weren't, and what was going on society wise. So now I'm a lot more informed about not just, oh, black people played guitar, but like the history of it and how this worked and what our heritage, our shared heritage is as metalheads. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's a beautiful thing, because it's combining, you know, white music and black music and creating something. Like, I don't believe the metal genre, there will ever be another genre that brings to the table what metal brings to the table. I don't think you're ever going to be able to replicate that. There's electronica, there's all this shit, and the electronics can do way more than what a normal person could do, but there's just something about that fucking ring out, that feeling when the dudes hit the stage, like, there's nothing like it. And it's something that both of our communities contributed heavily to, and it's something that now belongs to us. Like metal, like Mojo was saying, like, metalheads are disaffected, disenfranchised people. And we had the good fortune, obviously we would say God's grace, of us finding each other out in the wilderness, and then we're around this music that we're devoted to, and you become devoted to each other as the metal community. So I don't. This song is not a diss at all at the metal community, or even the white metal community, because the fact of the matter is, body count is accepted in I've never heard him say, "Oh, fuck body count, blah 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 blah." Of course you're gonna have, I mean, to this day we have people that are put racist comments because me and you are interracial or whatever. But for the most part, body count, in my view, is a very highly respected band across the board, and so everybody respects what they did. So they were able to overcome that shit, and that's the thing about, like, you know, racism or whatever. It's like, on the one hand, you have people that want to pretend like it's just not there. We've moved on. We got a black president. And the other hand, you got people that make it sound like because you run into racism, you can't do anything. And to me, that's like a cop-out. Like, they could have said, "Oh, you know, we're black. I'm a rapper. They said mean things to me at this concert, so I'm just going to, like, put it all away and say I'm putting it away because America's so racist that I can't win. The chips are stacked." Bullshit. Fucking man up. Fucking play your instrument and fucking do what you believe, man. Stop worrying about what people say. And that's what they did. Like, that's the attitude. And the thing is, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't necessarily have to like black people to respect that energy. I think what people have a problem with is, like, the minute you run into a little bit of a roadblock, you got a whole segment of black dudes that are like, "Oh, that's I saw it all the time at work." You know, people talk all types of crazy shit about me, especially when I first got hired. And people like, "I don't know how you do it, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, man, I don't give a fuck about these people. I got a fucking kid to feed. Fuck these people. Care about that? Like, so there is a sense in which, like, you know, sack the fuck up, man. Be a man and fucking stand up to piss and do what you need to do. Oh, like, honestly, like, the shit is
toxic. I'm just kidding.
The shit is weak to me, man.
Yeah.
It's weak to me.
I
Like,
hear you.
I like this attitude, like, because it acknowledges that racism is there, but it's also saying everybody in the metal community and every band has dealt with some sort of ism. You know, Jonathan dealt with homophobia and all that, you know, and he turned it into Korn. Like, none of the people that we admired had a great time coming up. Yeah. And most of the time, their little culture, we were listening to that Opeth thing where the guy, like, had to leave his fucking town because he was no longer a Christian. And then when he came back, like, everybody's dealing with, you know, but the spirit of metal is to say, man, I don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah, it's crazy because music is literally vibrations, and that's what's happening. Our eardrums are hearing vibrations, and we're experiencing those, and that makes us feel happy or angry or whatever. So it's kind of interesting that people have figured out to create vibrations that end up bringing us together.
Yeah, and it's crazy because a lot of people on the outside, like, if you're not inside of our community, like, people are, "Oh, that's bad." Like, "Oh my God, he's in darkness, imprisoning. Oh, that's bad." And, you know, especially like new age people, "Oh, that's a bad vibration." Oh, yeah. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when I get in my car after that show, there's that big, like, you're drenched with sweat and you're You have other people's DNA all over you and shit.
Gross.
We went to that Static X show because we landed an interview with one of the lead guys, and Wayne Static had died.
Yep.
And so
Yeah, I remember
all these songs are coming on, and
Is that where the guy came out looking like him?
yeah, and then like that little crowd we're in, we're all moshing, pushing each other. It was a very communal aspect because we knew like this dude was representing Wayne Static, who had, who couldn't be there, and all these people it was crazy because they're like, we got kids now. The kids are at home, and they're like, we first started listening to Static X when we were kids. Yeah. Now we got kids, and we're all
we had to get a sitter to come here. They said
right, but then Wayne's not there, so it was like. But we didn't know each other, but everybody like we were probably the closest to them as far as like, because we were outside the gate, but we were talking to them after every song and things like that. Like we were taking pictures. It was like immediately we were all best friends with each other. Like only metal can do that. Like period. So anyway, love the song. Love the song. Really really good song. Very strong opening. I love that Revo always does like these controversial...
Well, no, this one wasn't Revo though.
Oh, okay.
No, this one...
He always does like controversial shit. I'm like, Revo.
Yeah, I know. No. This is... Look, this is from... I don't want to miss say his name. Where was it? Right there. Robert Kahn. That was a ballsy move.
I think Robert Kahn is probably a nickname for Revo.
Could be.
There's Revo, Robert. 9.4, dear listener.
9.6 for me.
All right, guys, we are just literally at the foothills of this amazing situation we're in.
Dio is up next.
You guys know how I feel about the homie. We will check you on the other side. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.